I think for sure you will understand each other.
Yeah, I think so too. One thing I am curious about though is, so I discussed a little bit during my last rebuttal, the reason I'm so interested in truth value is so I could find what's the most prudent thing for me to do. Would you say that you feel like you pursue truth value for some higher moral reason than just what's of pragmatic utility to yourself?
Well, I mean, I think the pursuit of truth value carries a lot of unforeseen benefits. So for that reason, pursuing truth value for the expected benefits is very possibly going to yield significantly lower results than the pursuit of truth for truth's sake.
I would say, in response to what you said at the end about the pursuit of happiness being destructive, I'd say what I was attempting to do was a defense of happiness.
Right.
Rather than a pursuit of happiness. But your point is well taken, sure.
Right. I mean, even so, I mean, happiness that is generated by preventing one from analyzing something which maybe they're not analyzing well enough is something that could very well be destructive. And I think that the history of religion shows a lot of that.
You know, in my psilocybin example, obviously I wasn't recommending everyone take that for the purposes of magnification, but that is just to pull one out of the air, an example of, rational search for truth, uncovering a way for people to be much happier. So I would say in faith there are innumerable examples of the search for truth leading to this pragmatic utility.
If you took a group of children and they were very
What about, are you available for
very
Yeah, I'm going to that.
very well programmed or propagandized towards some absurd cult, and then you pumped them full of this artificial serotonin, psilocybin.
Yes.
I think you would see a lot of the same results in the sense that you would see an increase in dogma for those cultists, and you would see probably a high degree of confidence in their faith. You would see happiness with whatever beliefs that they believe they have, and you would see that a continuity of that as the Good Friday experiment shows also.
Well, I would have liked to get into a little bit the utility of Christianity in particular, as opposed to some, just some random crazy cult. And I'll let you have the last word on this, and then we'll get out of here. But the most compelling argument for me, and there's a few, but the most compelling argument is I really like Grinday's explanation regarding the final evolutionary benefit of faith being a resolution of the collision of animal emotions with human intelligence, specifically relating to mortality and relating to suffering, coping with suffering. Christianity obviously centers around the suffering of the central figure of the faith, and it's comparatively unique in that Christians can look to not just some detached God that's orchestrating events, but a God that's actually experienced the worst possible degree of suffering and can relate to any given situation that they're in. So it provides more comfort in that regard. I think that's one of the reasons why sometimes Christian evangelism just sort of spreads like a wildfire. Leif Erikson bringing the Christian missionary to Greenland, pretty much all the Asa True
I'm done with having
Greenlanders just converted to Christianity within a few days. It provided something that was absent in the faith that they had, and
just
brought to fulfillment, I think, sort of these stabs of evolutionary utility we see in other
just the tension in the house is just toxic.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of attractive and successful ways that evangelists use to spread Christianity to other regions. I mean, especially
that's just an innate tendency of Christianity rather than a particular evangelistic strategy.
Even though we had
sure
is the crucifixion.
rules of the house. I just always was really
and that also I think is probably more attractive.
Yeah, it just still felt really awkward letting them be there when I'm not there.
It's more associated with
so it was just a really toxic thing.
Hopeless
I never really could have friends over. The only
Hopelessness.
Life
person
is
that they
suffering.
liked was
Yeah,
my
life
is
family.
suffering.
That was only the loud person.
And I mean,
come over
there-
to my house.
Doesn't really fulfill the most observable
Because they didn't like
final,
having other people
final benefit
over.
of faith, I would say. Yeah, probably gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun.
The connection between
I can come home, can
intelligence
come and go as I
and
please, have people over, watch
emotion.
whatever I want. Good bed
I mean, I
want.
don't.
Or resolving the collision between two.
Because they're
Right,
intelligent and
right.
they
That-
have
I-
confidence.
that's
Yeah.
interesting.
I'm just a really silly person.
Another
I
way
do
to
too.
put that
I don't
is,
feel like my daughter.
or at least the way I see it anyway, is
Oh
that
yeah, that's
faith
like the one reason
is
why I like a lot of my friends is because I'm like, I can be
an
as
emotional
obnoxious and weird around you,
defense
and you just love
of
me.
previous rationalizations.
Like when I'm in the car and
Is-
like one of the songs I like are I'll start dancing and singing.
It's probably a
No,
problem.
I'm just like,
Well,
yeah.
hold up, because this is like a chicken and an egg problem. The rationalization is not going to come before the predisposed tendency, because that'd be
I'm
like
around, like,
acquired
around
traits
two
theory.
of my
You stretch out the
guys,
giraffe's
and it's
neck, and
because
it's
they're
like
like my best
kid has a longer neck. It doesn't work
And
like that. It couldn't
They're
have
the
been,
same way.
you know,
Yes.
originated as a rationalization, because that's not something that would have been passed along genetically. I'm saying that
Mm-hmm.
the protection faith offers against the collision of emotions and intelligence is largely a biological thing.
Yeah.
It's a big reason
Like-
why
like the guy that
you know
I'm
we
with.
have inherited predispositions
I
to
don't
faith
really know,
via
like, we're
serotonin,
together.
etc.
Ah.
It's just like
Okay, so you're saying it's a biological
I know I
cause?
can be myself around
Yes.
you, but at the same
That's-
time, I
that's-
I'm saying
sometimes
that's
like, really
that's a
myself
reason
around.
why faith would be
Just
selective.
like,
I mean,
Think about it. If there's just a mutation,
the-
if there's a mutation that makes
serotonin,
you,
I think, has
Yeah.
existed a lot longer than what we
Yeah.
now think of as
Yeah.
faith.
but so serotonin in particular predisposes you to believe in a god.
Well,
And then
serotonin
I mean,
predisposes you to believe.
faith
in what-
emerges
whatever you
independently all
believe.
over
Are you
the
gonna
world.
go
It's
get
not just a
Jimmy
meme that capitalizes
I
on
honestly
the
really
serotonin.
want Jimmy
If
John's
you're-
to make
If higher serotonin levels make you
Get it.
believe
It
in
was
God,
really
and
tough.
belief in a
blame
God
you for,
protects you against the
seriously
collision
mash
of
Jimmy
emotions
John's
and
food.
intelligence. You know, that's something that's going to be
It's a
selected for.
good
That's,
training.
like Grinda says, it releases tons
It's
of energy
lettuce, it's meat.
to focus on the
Hot
functions of
peppers are
life,
heaven.
survival,
Oh,
and
their hot
reproduction.
peppers are really spicy.
And you're
I
not
They were so
worried
good.
about your imminent
I
death
seriously
every
probably
night
could
when you
put
go to
that
sleep.
on everything.
You know,
I
so
do
animals
on
can
everything.
escape death, escape a predator,
It's like, hey,
and
let's
go
try
to
hot
sleep
peppers
soundly.
on
We
this.
have to worry about whether the predator is going to come back
Great
the next day.
decision.
So it
Oh, it
provides a
is.
degree of comfort that offers tangible benefit. And I think it's, you know, it's not that much of a stretch. We agree serotonin is going to make you more likely to come to the conclusion that God exists. So something
Th-
to decide.
That's actually not what I was saying. I was saying that
already
serotonin
wrote
is
it down.
more
So
likely to
I'll
make
put
you
it
more
over
established in
because
whatever
it's
belief
but
that
going home
you
and reading, just reading.
believe. I mean,
It
that's
is,
that's.
if it wasn't my world
Yes.
politics.
So it is
But
that
it's quite
inverse of
fascinating.
I have
neuroplasticity is
all
what I was
politics.
talking about.
Would
It's
Dr.
not
Sleep be?
necessarily
Possibly. What
the
books do you have?
superstition or the
And is it a
extra
rental account
natural
when you sell it?
aspects of
It's
of
world-
religion, which
It's like world's
Well,
transition.
I mean,
those
I don't
become
know,
more
might be
naturally
more-
when you have higher serotonin.
Look it up for show me
They're
a picture of what
more
you need,
likely
and if
to
it is,
be
then can sell it to you for
consistent.
like $20.
That would be amazing.
like
Is
they're
that-
more likely to be defined through language. They're more likely to be agreed upon
I will let
socially.
you know when I get
If there's something that
Yeah.
is
But it's
Yeah,
associated
that's
with a
fine.
higher
Food first.
higher level.
Then
of
book.
Again, so it's not just a meme, because faith emerges independently.
Six
People
classes next.
will come to the conclusion that
Yeah,
God
I saw
exists.
that
Right,
here.
so
I'm saying
yeah.
that's
taking
more likely to
19
happen
hours,
when
and
you
my
have
books
serotonin.
come
is what
to
I'm
less
saying.
than $200.
It's not
Last
just
semester I was
that
at 12,
it makes
we
you
were
more
like
open
13,
to
and it
the
was
idea
like
from other people.
I was so
It's the
confused. It
agreement
doesn't make sense.
on the faith,
When you have like three
and
classes
it's the
versus six.
the
and
social
your
aspects of
class
faith
is
and how it
less than
transmits.
half of
That,
the higher
and it's the stability of faith that
Yeah.
serotonin offers. It's the,
I've been
the
13
actual
hours, I've been
generation
13
of
hours,
the
13 to
supernatural
14 hours since I
beliefs
started at the college. I've been
probably
12
has
to 14
something
hours since I
more
started
to
at
do
college.
with
And my books are roughly about $350 every semester.
cannabinoid receptors in the brain.
Yeah, it's because I'm really lazy.
Just,
I'm like, I don't really
it's
want
sort
to
of
do one. I said, well, that and it also been like 4 years since I've been
the
back
more
to school.
intuitive faculties
And
of
it's
the
not
brain
about, I'm
generating
just
these
back to
sorts of
school, I'm back
beliefs.
to school, and I have my
But-
child, so I'm
I
like,
want
I don't
to
want
graduate management.
But I mean that more
I'm
has to do
graduating
with
May
the
24th.
origins of
with
a
2
particular
degrees and a
belief,
minor.
whereas
Taking 13 hours? How long is
it doesn't really
Oh, I
take
did 2.5
much
years of college before
for
I enlisted, yeah.
Okay.
it really just takes an understanding of
Oh, no, I did-
communication medium, the language.
If I
that
didn't
for a
get
faith
my
to be
bachelor's of
communicated.
arts in
Language is
anthropology, I could graduate.
Elizabeth, can you do you have my Darwinian happiness book?
Isn't it right there?
Someone.
I think that you took
I don't-
it
that's
because
right,
I
I don't have
have
it.
the book.
Is it on the
It's in a
stack?
stack somehow. Okay.
No, because I gave her Desiring God, so I had to put a new book in.
I
Oh, got
have,
it.
I have Desiring God and the God Gene, which I have to take back to the library because I'm taking your tags out as soon as you make copies.
But,
Well, I
yeah,
should put
no,
a power
had I
on
not
first.
added mine.